The U.S. military is the most powerful force on Earth. But behind the public ceremonies and patriotic displays, there are secrets. Horrifying secrets. Ones that were never meant to see the light of day. Today, we're exposing two of the darkest operations in U.S. military history. These aren't conspiracy theories. These are facts, backed by declassified documents, testimony, and undeniable proof. The first is something so insane, so unthinkable, it almost sounds made up, but it's not. In 1962, the top generals at the Pentagon signed off on a covert plan called Operation Northwoods. What was it? A false flag operation, a plan to commit acts of terrorism against Americans, by Americans. They proposed faking Cuban attacks on U.S. soil to justify invading Cuba. And it wasn't subtle. They planned to blow up a U.S. Navy ship near Guantanamo Bay and blame Cuba. They considered hijacking real commercial planes, staging fake funerals, and even killing innocent civilians, just to provoke war. Let that sink in. The U.S. military was ready to kill its own people to manipulate public opinion. And this wasn't some fringe idea. It made it all the way to President John F. Kennedy's desk. He said no. Less than a year later, he was dead. And although the operation was never carried out, the documents were later declassified, proving the entire plan was real. That's not the only dark chapter buried in the vaults of American history. The second secret? It's worse. Project MKUltra, a massive, illegal program run by the CIA and backed by military resources. Its goal? Mind control. It started in the 1950s. Thousands of U.S. citizens were experimented on without consent. College students, prisoners, even patients in hospitals. Many were unknowingly dosed with LSD, powerful hallucinogens, and then subjected to psychological torture, electroshock, and extreme isolation. Some people were pushed to the brink of insanity. Others were never seen again. One scientist, Frank Olson, was secretly drugged. Days later, he fell to his death from a hotel window. The CIA called it suicide, but years later, his family discovered he had been part of MKUltra and started asking questions the government couldn't answer. When MKUltra was finally exposed, the public was outraged. But by then, most of the records had already been destroyed. We only know about it because of a clerical error. Someone accidentally filed documents in the wrong place. That's how the truth got out. Just think about that. If those files hadn't been misplaced, we may have never known this happened at all. These are not stories from dystopian fiction. These are verified U.S. military and intelligence operations, paid for with your tax dollars. Hidden from public view. Covered up for decades. And here's the scariest part. If this is what they admitted to doing, what haven't they admitted? How many other operations are still buried? How many more lives were ruined or ended without a single word in the history books? We may never know. But one thing is certain. Behind every flag, every anthem, and every medal, there's a shadow. And the deeper you dig into America's military history, the darker it gets.